Hello and welcome, and here's a little story that had me flummoxed for a little while. It's been doing the rounds, Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else. It is, and we can make this copper, we can make her famous if we want, because as far as I can see, she's had her feelings hurt. Oh, poor love. Oh, she's such a poor love. She's had her feelings hurt. Oh, this autistic girl, and I'm only mentioning autism purely from the point of view that you understand that autistic people tend to have no filters. They will say whatever's on their mind, whether that's in no way does that mean that they're actually being offensive. They say what they're thinking, and it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing that you would think. If I called you a name, then basically in this case exactly what this copper has said. She's trying to claim that it's hate speech against her personally, and she's a copper in public service. If she is a lesbian, then fair enough, that's your personal choice. But you must have come across, it's like having a disability. You would have come across people calling you names in your life. Yeah? I'm 62 years old. I've had every name under the sun. And when I was younger, yeah, okay, fair enough. When I was younger, it did bother me. Because I thought, well, what have I done to justify that? But after a little while, many years, you get used to it and you think, well, these people are idiots. These people are bigots. These people have no idea what it's like to be living in your shoes. So in one way, I can understand why this copper has got uppity. But on the other hand, we have to remember that she is in public service. And having bad things said about you is a matter of course. But what she's trying to do is claim that this hate speech was said by an autistic girl about her. And the words that she used was, that copper's like my nana, a lesbian, or something to that effect. In actual fact, the girl's nana is a lesbian and is married to a woman. So, quite rightly, she said what she saw. And passing comment about a copper, or anybody in the world, is not, as far as I can see, is not an offence. It's not a criminal offence. But what they're going to try and do is twist this round to fit the narrative. So, claiming that it's hate speech against a minority group. I mean, if she's been called other names, such as a dyke, for example, then fair enough, that is an offensive term. But she wasn't. She was called a lesbian. That woman's a lesbian. What is wrong with that? If she is a lesbian, what is wrong with that? Surely that recognises the efforts that she's made in order to become that way. And certainly I don't see a problem with the word. I don't have a problem with words because they're words. They're not going to, I mean, let's go back to the old statement that we used to have, which is sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Basically, this copper needs to get a new job. She really does. And when you look at the picture of it, there are 7 coppers trying to arrest a disabled girl. Right? Let's face it, she is a disabled person. In her own house. I mean, first of all, let's not talk about the fact that they let 7 coppers in. All right, they could have threatened breaking the door down, but legally, what right do they have to come into the house based upon that? and I'm no lawyer, but I mean, I think there's something going on with this particular story. But certainly the couple needs to get a new job. If she's that worried about being offended by comments and words, then really she's in the wrong job. Wait until she gets called being a pig, for example, because that's quite common for people to shout out to police, "Go pig," and things like this. That's offensive. It's offensive to pigs, actually, to be honest. But yeah, it's a standard slur. And if anybody is offended by that, then they really are in the wrong job. But watch this video and you'll see how it goes through. And in particular, look at the offending copper's stance at the end when she's stood there in a very defensive manner.
She's made a comment in her own house. You've got her own camera. She hasn't said anything to you. Don't matter. She never got cameras on. She's getting arrested. She's getting arrested. Why are you doing? Unit's coming. Don't worry. She hasn't done anything. She's autistic. I don't care. She's autistic. I know you don't care. I'm telling you, I've got units coming. She's going to be arrested tonight. I'll wait till the police officers come and I'll explain what happened. If I get put in
why we got her on in the first place.
Fucking bitch, what me if I get put in calm down. She's autistic. Can you stop staring at her, please? She's got autism. Can you just stand there? She's in a cupboard. She can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. Stand there, dear. They're going to remove her for what? With your woman? Think she said the word lesbian? Her nana is a lesbian. She's married to a woman. She's not homophobic. Look what you're clenching your fist. Go away from my teenage daughter.
What is up with you?
There is something wrong with you, mate. She didn't aim it at the police officer.
It's not homophobic remarks at my colleague.
It's not a homophobic remark. She said, I think she's a lesbian like Nana.
If you want to bully people, you'll just get one of them badges there. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd it go? Where's this? Does it go to right under there?
She's autistic. She don't like people touching her. She will have a meltdown. She won't come out. She's got autism. I'm Lisa.
Talk to her so she can come out. Because we're trying not to do this, aren't we? We've been trying for a long time.
But she hasn't done nothing wrong. That officer out there has assaulted me for no reason. She's got autism. She's autistic, man.
The issue is, if an officer decides to arrest her...
She wasn't arrested. They brought her home.
She's under arrest now.
No, but she was going upstairs and she made a comment to me and that officer ran in my house and assaulted me and tried to get to my daughter for now.
If you want to make a complaint about any of it, that's fine.
I am going to.
That will have been on.
I am going to. Yeah, because it is on and she has.
She's now under arrest.
She was full of rage and she ran in the house and she barged me into this corner.
So yeah, I really think that this case, which has not been widely publicised, is worthy of viewing. To clarify, this was at Yorkshire Police and they were using the hate speech bill that went through Parliament recently. This is exactly why it was a bad idea. But she was detained for 20 hours and released. No adult was allowed in the interview. She repeated no comment, so they let her go. Her mother has put in a complaint, and this is the second time that she shared that video, as social media keeps on removing it, as they do, because they don't want to be censored. But this is Leeds in Yorkshire, and basically it's the beginning of the end for free speech, and they can do whatever they like and they can say whatever they like and they can get away with it. So there we go. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and of course comments and reactions down below. Bye for now.